Okay. So it's a moment to introduce César to Daniel. So César, perhaps you can do a little introduction about the website and your work for Daniel that doesn't know you yet.
Yeah. Daniel, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah.
Good for you? Okay, so I'm the founder and the publisher of the Brazilian website Relógios Relógios, Watches and Watches. We started in 2006, so almost 15 years online. We are pioneers in fine watchmaking media in Brazil, online media. And we've been covering Baselworld and the SITH, now Watches and World, Watches and Wonders, since 2007. We do the coverage of CR and other watchmaking clubs, from fine watchmaking club from Cartier and 4810 club from Mont Blanc. And so it's a little something about watches, relógios and relógios, watches and watches.
Okay.
Okay, and so César wrote these questions that we have sent to you.
Yeah.
So perhaps César, you want to, ask the questions again? So just for the record.
Yeah, Cesar will go. I'll follow you. Just tell
Okay.
me, hit me with the questions, and I'll answer them.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start. Could you please tell us something about you and how you came into the watchmaking world?
Okay, so I started with jewelry first in 1985.
Okay.
I was making at that time. I started with producing catalogs for companies for their marketing, and I went to a jewelry building in California, Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, and approached this company to make a catalog for them. We got to be friends, and I produced for him the catalog, and it was a jewelry factory. And he told me, don't waste your time with your catalog, change your profession, start working with me. And that's how I got into jewelry business.
Yeah.
And the way we were doing back then is that I produce designs and go to different wholesalers around the country and offer them the product. In 1999, although the business was good for the jewelers, they wanted me to create something new for them. Something new I didn't know outside of the jewelry field, but I saw the watch industry was kind of opening, because back then in US, there were only a few companies, mostly Japanese and Swiss. The Swiss were the Rolex, outside of the collectors. The collectors knew about the watches, but the men in US were not wearing too many watches. The only thing they were wearing, the average consumer, was the Japanese watches. There was the Seiko, the Citizen. So since I was with the jewelry, with diamonds and gold and color stones, I decided to try this, to bring into the wholesalers,
Okay.
to bring the watches. And that's how it started in 1999. I created a company called Aquamaster. Then in 2001, a jeweler, which was called Jacob the Jeweler, approached my partner and said he wants to create the watch for him, since he saw so much success with the watches. We started. I created the 5 time zone. Was something different for the market. Was successful, and then 2004 I decided to go on my own without any partners. I sold the Jacob & Co. to my partners, and I created Tiret. And that's how I started with the industry.
Nice history. And nowadays, are you somehow involved in the watches creation?
Back to you,
Design?
So everything that comes out from Tiret, I'm involved from the concept, design, to the manufacturing.
Mhm.
The brand is it's boutique brand.
Yeah.
We don't make mass production. The watches are very difficult to make. They're very identifiable and very small production, because it's difficult to make in mass production. So many components goes into the watch. It's not for mass production.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you intend to have ambassadors for the brand?
The ambassadors for the brand. So because we make a mass production, it makes no sense to get an ambassador and pay him all this money, because we don't make so many watches. What we were lucky with, because the watches are small production and so different from anything on the market, we were lucky with the celebrities,
Yeah.
singers, basketball players, soccer players, baseball players, actors. So they were wearing the watches, and we took this visual and we put it on in the market, so people can see who wears the watches and how can they identify themselves with the product. So that's our ambassadors, but they're all there's no one in particular.
Yeah, I see. And what are your main partners for the movements of your watches?
We started with feita, ETA, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did the first private movement we did with Antoine Prezioso, which is a watchmaker in Switzerland. And those were for tourbillons. And now, from last year, we started to create our own movement with Concepto manufacturing.
Okay.
They created for us a skeleton. That was the first one. We are now working on a few ideas for new movements, but that's about it.
Okay. And could you describe Tiret novelties in 2020?
2020, we're now working on different materials. So last year we introduced carbon fiber, the new carbon fiber, fragile carbon fiber. It's less sporty, it's more luxurious, which it fits the direction of the brand. And this year we're introducing new dials with color stone like ruby and black diamonds. The ruby came out because we wanted to create a new vision for the Olympics, Japan Olympics. And since their flag is red color, we introduce the red ruby. This is what's coming in 2020. First the ruby and then the black diamonds in our splash collection.
Okay. What's the proportion between sales of men's watches and women's? For Tiret?
So, yes. So our watches are unisex, except a few models. We have about 8 models in our collection, and it all depends on the market. That's mean on the country. So, for example, Russia, we have more success with ladies wearing the watches. Again, it depends on the color of the dial, depends on the color of the bracelet. Everything is interchangeable. It's easy to put. If a lady buys a new dress, she can match the bracelet, which she can do it herself. No need to go to the watchmaker to interchange the bracelets. Depending on the dial, the color of the mother of pearl, depending on the design of the dial, but the watch itself can be worn by a man or a woman. So in Japan, it's more men. They ordering more of the men color. In Europe, it's like London, it's more men, and in France, our experience is more ladies. So it really depends on the market, the type of people live in, in the country, I guess, not the market, the country.
And in your opinion, what are the wristwatches trends?
So I'm staying away from fashion watches. The way I design the watch is that I can keep the design of the watch for a long period of time, for many years, without changing, without the watch, the design go out of fashion. So the way I design it is I put many components. That's why it's so difficult to manufacture those watches. And I can change the bezels, I can change the material of the case, I can change the design of the components, but the watch all look the same except different materials. Diamonds, gold, color, stone, carbon. Sorry, one moment. Sorry.
Well, we can see it's a beautiful day in New York today. We can see a beautiful day in New York.
Yeah. Nice of you.
Since I don't make the design for a fashion, I don't follow any trend, and the way we manufacture the watches is to be different. If it exists, I don't make it.
Okay. Talking about style, can you explain what you have explained to me before about the classic model? So it's, a bit different, right? I mean, it's interesting the history that you explain about the classic.
The classic we started to make because of Atto Chrono. The Atto Chrono is also a round watch, same as classic. The difference is the size of the watch and the way you wear the watch, with what you wear the watch. Originally, other younger guys used to buy the other chrono, which is a bigger watch. But the problem is those guys were at the Wall Street, and the watch is very noticeable. You can see the watch immediately. It's more of a conversation piece. It's more in your face. It's classic watch. And they liked the watch. They liked the brand, and they were asking if I can make for them a watch that they can go to work during the day. Since they're in financial business, it's more proper to wear something less noticeable, let's say, or more calm. So this was the idea of classic. We actually call it classic with a Q. And that's how we started with classic.
And one question, where the inspiration for the name Tiret came from?
Tiret is a French and a Russian word. Since I'm of Russian origin, we chose this word. Tiret means dash. It's New York, New-York.
Can you say again, please? Just explain again. I didn't hear.
Okay, Tiret is a French word, but also a Russian word. Actually, in French, say Tiret. You don't pronounce the last T.
Okay.
But the meaning of Tiret, it's a dash. It's between like New York, New, and then dash York.
Okay. Good. Great. And Cesar, what do you have more?
It's a connection between the watch. Let's say it's a connection between a watch and a person who wears it.
I see.
What are your plans for the Brazilian market?
So since I'm not Brazilian, I have to rely on my distributor in Brazil. He will know better than me how to approach this market. Except I'm only following that he understand the brand and how to present the brand to the Brazilian consumer.
Yeah.
Okay, on the last question. Would you like to send a message to Brazil and to Relógios Relógios readers?
I would like to introduce, first of all, the brand to the Brazilian consumer, to explain the history of the brand, the story of the brand, and how it's when they wear the watch, it's becoming a family. The watch is, when you buy into the watch, it's not just a product that you wear. It's also a club. It's a private club. It's when people wear the watch and let's say they meet, they look at each other, they nod their heads, they say hello, because there is something connecting them. It's not those mass producers that everybody has the same watch on the wrist. This is a unique product. It's a club. When you wear it, you have a connection to between the people. So those people are either influencers or they want to be a little bit different than the rest. They wear their clothes differently. They maybe even drive different cars than the masses, And it's something to connect the consumer with what they wear. So when they walk into, they can bring to the restaurant their Ferrari or their house or their paintings. So people notice them only from what as they walk in with what they have. And one of the products that they have is the watch. And a person can communicate who he is by what he wears.
Great, great.
The watch
And can you tell us a little bit about the big success of the brand Tiret in Japan also?
So when we started in 2004, we created the first watch was a Second Chance, which is an oversized watch. Was nothing like this on the market. We actually were nominated in 2005 very quickly by Grand Prix de Horloger, Geneva. And it started to be noise about the product. People keep, the people that were, they had already 25 watches. They wanted something different. And they start buying into Tiret. The watches were very expensive compared to what they are right now. And the reason for it was we only concentrated on a high-end consumers. Then came 2009 and 2008, 2009, where a lot of these people lost a lot of the money. Not that they didn't have any more money to spend, but they didn't have mood for spending. And the market, for us, the business dropped. Back then, I didn't concentrate so much on the Japanese market, but 2011, they start growing. And we decided to go with not such an expensive product. We wanted for people to be able to afford to buy our watches. So one of the models, which is Ado Chrono, we started to make it more affordable. Not reducing the price, but reducing the diamonds, make it more simple dials. And they did a great job by getting into the communicating the product to the average person. So that's mean a policeman, a hairdresser, of course, singer they have, but they have also baseball players. So every year I go to Japan to help them to make events, to sign some boxes when the person buys, and to take pictures with them, just to support the brand in Japan and my distributors. And we saw that instead of going into just limited consumer, which if this is the pyramid, we only went to the top one before. We decided to go into the middle of the pyramid, and it succeeded. So we have more stores can carry the product, more how we call them family, because of the consumer buy into it. Since before it was only known as, oh, this is the expensive watch. Now it's known as Tiret. People actually pronounce the name. And we see this is the new way of Tiret, the new vision. Since if we stayed and crisis come in, we wouldn't be able to sustain our business. Now I'm looking at I received paperwork from since this coronavirus. I asked for statements of their the way they were doing business. I wanted to see what sells more, how the stores were doing. The first, I didn't go through everything, but the first response that I see, they only dropped about 25% from the business they were doing, for example, last year. So it doesn't look so bad. And if I would be staying only with the high, very expensive watches, maybe I wouldn't be able to see the business, which is I think did not so bad compared to what I hear on the market, and comparing to what we did last year, which business was good last year.
Wow, so congratulations. You know, it seems that things are going good, even though with the situation. Yeah.
The situation is not as bad as we thought, but on the other hand, they don't only carry Tiret, they carry other brands, and I don't know how they did with other brands, since I only spoke to my PR lady in Japan, and she told me the other brands are not doing so well, especially between $1,000 to $2,000 price target.
I see.
So what I'm getting into is I'm not getting orders as before. I don't know what's going on there. First of all, I couldn't make because Switzerland was closed. They just opened up. And the second thing, I don't know what's the situation of money in the markets. So I have to think about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope 1 or 2 months things will get to much better, because people were locked down for a long time. People are tired. They want to go out. They want to spend money. They want to travel. They want to go to restaurants. So I'm hoping. Yeah. I'm hoping that within a couple of months, people will forget about this virus, will be less scared.
Yeah, I think you should be optimistic. I'm optimistic myself too. Yeah. And well, I'd like to ask Carlo Naldi, as a business partner, to say a few words about Tiret also, you know, to hear from Carlo also his experience with Tiret, and some words about the brand. Let's, Carlo, say something.
He will say it better than me now. Now my interview is gone.
You are the star, Daniel. Huh?
You know.
And the moon.
Star is Tiret.
And the moon.
The star is Tiret. We all work for Tiret. That's all. There's no boss in the company.
That's right. That's right. So my position, I know Daniel since 20 years, since from the beginning, also the period with when he was.
I can hear you, Carlo. Can you hear him?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay. So I know Daniel since 20 years. Time that was in Jacob & Co. company, and we have a very long. Friendly relationship, family relationship. I work in the watch industry since 25 years. I create boxes for many name brands, and I also give my services to Daniel, and I give all the support necessary to create all boxes and all the theater that work around, turn around the watch. And since some time, so I have my company in Switzerland. I organize also since 11 years the Swiss Creative Lab. In the Swiss Creative Lab organization, I give the support to many independent brands, Swiss brands, but not also international brands. And into this structure, I also give my support and my help to Daniel and to Tiret. And I trust a lot. I believe that Tiret can be really something strong because it's completely unique. If I go inside a store, we know there is more than 800,000 brands of watches, but Tiret continue to be something completely different and something completely unique. We strongly believe that also the customer all over the world can recognize Tiret because it's something that is really strongly recognizable into a broad range of watches. And that's why I'm very, very happy to give my support in the marketing, in the everything can be helpful to give the support to Tiret brand. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So many years ago, Carlo helped me with the Swiss market. Carlo helped me with, he went to Middle East to make an event there for Tiret. Carlo was an asset to the company. He was with me from the beginning. He actually helped me to make the name. You remember, Carlo? We were driving from, where was it? Forgot. In Italy.
Zug to Italy.
To Italy, yeah. And Carlo has come up with the name Second Chance. Actually,
Yeah.
everybody thinks the second chance means like a second chance. But Carlo explained, I liked it, that's why I called it. It's a second chance.
Yeah, yeah.
You remember that?
Absolutely, it was a beautiful.
Everything can change. Everything can change in a second. Look, we now know Carlos. Carlos can create a great business in Brazil. I was thinking about Brazil for many years.
Yeah, that's right.
Huh? You remember I was telling you about this.
Absolutely, yeah. We had a beautiful success in Qatar. I bring Qatar. I was there for Tiret with my wife Antonina. It was a beautiful period, a beautiful exhibition. And then I also bring Tiret in China, in Tianjin. We made a very big exhibition with the Swiss Creative Lab. Tiret was, of course, together with other main brands as Baluar, and we was there together also with Koenig family from Embassy in Lucerne. And the Tiret was absolutely very strongly appreciated also by Asian. And we sell beautiful pieces also to important people in China. Yeah,
Wow, great.
Really. Yeah. We have a longer friendly history, and again, we strongly trust that the brand can have a beautiful future. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So I have a question. If you have some new photos in high definition of the new models, if you can send to us, will help us to publish, photos, especially of these new models, of ladies models, things like that, in high resolution. So it's better it will help us to publish those images at the website, Instagram, and all the feeds, and also to distribute with other media channels too. Yeah. Okay. So
Carlos,
Cesar,
I started. Sorry, Carlos.
Yes.
Yep.
Regarding this photos. So last year I started with the new images. Yeah, I put all the watches kind of the same direction. You'll see it, or you saw it already. Whatever photos I said, maybe I didn't send you, or I will send you again everything I have. But everything stopped I don't have all the models in my hand because the photos I did in New York, and I didn't receive all the samples of the watches.
Okay.
You see, when Switzerland manufacture, it goes directly to the customer wherever they are. Sometimes I don't see the watches.
I understand.
So I
Goes directly
have
the
to, now
customer.
that they open, goes directly to customer. Now I have to order watches to have in New York so I can make pictures. But the guy who was working with the photography, touch with him. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's Italian. Maybe he went back to Italy. I don't know what's going on. And the guy who was helping him with the touch-ups, just to for the Photoshop. I can get in touch with him also. I don't know what's going on. He's from Switzerland, so it's a little bit unclear what's going on. Even if they're here, I still cannot do anything because nobody working.
Yeah, I see.
I will send you what I have.
Yeah. Please send what you have.
Go ahead.
Yes. I mean, just send what you have and what we would prefer to be shown to the people. Like, okay, Carlos, do this and that. Show this and that. Okay. And Cesar, any final thoughts or considerations on the interview?
Well, I'd like to thank Carlo and Daniel for the time. It was a pleasure to meet you, even if it was only virtually. Hope to see you soon. We can meet in Switzerland or Brazil, maybe. And we hope we can.
Are you in Brazil, Cesar? Are you in Brazil?
Yes, I'm in Curitiba in the south.
Cesar, are you in Brazil? Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping distance from Carlos.
Yeah. We're in two different cities.
Social distancing, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
1,000 kilometers or more, I think. By the way.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's in Curitiba and I'm in Rio. So it's what, 1,000 and perhaps 1,200.
No, not so much. 800 kilometers.
800. Oh, it's less. Okay, less. Just 800 kilometers.
Still, it's safe. It's safe.
That's social distance. Social distance.
God forbid. I wanted to finish already. We have to finish with this distancing.
Yeah, sure. People have to reconnect.
Congratulations for the brand.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Can't wait to come to Brazil to see what's going on over there. I never been to Brazil.
Oh,
We are glad to welcome you.
Yeah, I never take vacations. I only go to places where I work and I play when I'm there. But unfortunately, I never had business in Brazil, so I never visited.
Yeah, so hope now you have business.
I hope it will change.
And you already have good friends in Brazil. You know that, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so bye-bye.
Congratulations, Cesar, also
Bye.
Congratulations, Cesar, for the Relógios and Relógios. It's a beautiful article. I follow every time. Is well.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You. Bye, gentlemen. Thank you.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Thank you.